Oh man. All right, yep. Just getting the old tornado shelter in place. Ooh, what's that? What's this right here? Oh, this would be the 2011 Bounty Ball, baby. Bounty Ball signed by the entire New Orleans Saints team, including yours truly, Drew Brees. Drew, we're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you, Drew. God dog it all right. I missed you the second you ran off that field, buddy. So if you see this, Drew, just know, man, I love you. Welcome back to another great episode of Blatherskite, where we're gonna break down the AFC South and this predictions. And before I go any further, you see it right here, baby, and it's bananas. Yes, that's right. 7-time champion Johnny Bananas. I might tag you in this, buddy. Hopefully you see it. We miss you. But we got season 37 of the challenge coming up. Be ready for weekly breakdowns of these episodes. Man, I love that show. Spies, Lies, and Allies, I believe it's called. It's going to be exciting stuff, and we can't wait to start that. But first, we've got to get through these NFL predictions, and we got to keep it going with the AFC South. Let's go! Start off all of these all of these predictions. We're going to start off with the last place, Houston Texans. I will be completely honest here. Doing research for these 2021 Houston Texans gave me a headache. Because this team is going to be bad. This team was bad last year when Deshaun Watson played for these guys. Deshaun Watson, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. He's got a lot of illegal issues right now that I'm not going to dive into. You probably know what they are. But this team went 4-12 in 2020 with Deshaun Watson on the team, with J.J. Watt on the team, with Will Fuller on the team before his injury. 4-12. Fourth passing offense, 31st in rushing offense. They got to get those numbers up. They have Laramie Tunsil. They have pieces on their line. They just got it. They have to run the ball better. David Johnson, we'll get to that in a second. 30th in total defense with J.J. Watt. That's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. No team allowed more yards after the catch last season than this Houston Texans defense. Not good enough. They forced a league low 9 turnovers last season and are one of only 2 teams since the year 2000 to force less than 10 turnovers in said seasons. Not going to cut it. What did they do? Lovie Smith coming in hot. Lovie Smith, good defensive coordinator. He did bring those Bears to the Super Bowl, if you remember. They did lose it, but he did go to the Super Bowl with the Bears. Not a very successful head coach, but I like him. I think Lovie Smith is a good guy, man. I think he's a good guy. I believe he comes from the Tony Dungy. I don't know. I could be totally off on that. Check me on that. Double check. Do some research for me. Get in the comment section below. Let me know how wrong you think I am. I think Lovie Smith comes from that Tony Dungy, maybe John Gruden coaching tree. Don't know. Don't have a clue. I'll be honest with you. I'm just throwing things up in the air. But Lovie Smith is in. I think that helps the defense. They have completely rebuilt this franchise from the ground up. I mean, they have a new head coach, David Culley. Bill O'Brien out. Questionable decisions. He lost the team. I do like Bill O'Brien's style, I mean, I think he's a good coach. Maybe he's a better coordinator. I don't know. What the hell do I know? Anyways, the new GM, Nick Caserio, former New England personnel director. I think that's going to pay off big dividends. And they started off right off the bat. They brought in a lot of veterans on this team. They're trying their damnedest, right? So Tyrod Taylor in. He's going to probably be the quarterback if Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson has long since requested his trade out of Houston. That's going to be interesting to see that develop. Who in the world's going to want that guy? He's got like 20-something charges against him or cases. I don't know. Anyways, linebacker Christian Kirksey comes in from Green Bay. Shaq Lawson, former first-round pick, 19th overall in the 2016 draft. Running backs Phillip Lindsay and Mark Ingram in to help back up David Johnson, who had showed some spurts. I had him in fantasy. Wasn't that bad. But he wasn't that great either, right? So, but they're deep. They're deep in the running back field. So, Kevin Pierre-Louis, who ran a 4.5 140 in the combine. Got a good linebacker. They do switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense for the first time since 2010 under Lovie Smith. Will be interesting. Then they did lose some longtime Texans here. Darren Fells, J.J. Watt, Will Fuller V, Duke Johnson, Benardrick McKinney, and most recently, Randall Cobb goes back to Green Bay. That Green Bay one's going to be fun. I'm already ready to do the NFC North. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to do all the divisions. Anyways, the draft. David Mills, quarterback out of Stanford. Project, going to take some time, but we'll see how that plays out. Wide receiver Nico Collins. He opted out last year in college, but he's definitely got some potential to help out Brandon Cooks. Which is another side note. There's rumors of Brandon Cooks possibly being dealt back to New Orleans. What? Anyways, and they get tight end Brevin Jordan. That is key here. Brevin Jordan, not the tallest guy in the world, but he can line up anywhere on the field and play slot. I mean, he can do it all. Tight end and all of it. He can work on some blocking. Work on your blocking, Brevin. Work on your blocking. I might tag you in this too, big dog. 17 new coaches on this staff. 17. So they're trying. Lots of veterans added. All of that being said, this team is going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. It takes time. Like, you can't just rebuild and throw in veterans and you're going to win 8 games, right? No, this team's going to get worse. They may even use the number 1 pick next year. They are going to be the number 1 pick. The Houston Texans go 1-16, worst team in the league, get the number 1 pick, and draft Miles Brennan out of LSU. I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun there. They're going to draft a quarterback, and we'll see how it plays out. But I love you, Miles. I might tag you in this too, big dog. On to the next one. Coming up next, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars were 1-15 last year. We all know that. Minshew Mania was running wild. They ran through so many different quarterbacks last year. Things were falling apart in Jacksonville. And what do? How do you fix it? You go get one of the most successful college coaches in the history of college coaches. Urban Meyer makes his NFL debut in the 2021 season with the Jacksonville Jaguars. After 3 national championships on a collegiate level, he got out at the right time because, man, what is going on with the NCAA? That's a whole nother episode as well. Urban Meyer, 187-32 record in college football. Say what you want about that guy. He coached to win the games. You play to win the games. Anyways, lots of turnover there as well. Out is Jay Gruden, which is probably good. Nothing like his brother John. Let's just be honest. Nothing against the guy. He might be a great dad. He may be a great brother. Probably a good husband. Not a great coach, in my opinion, right? And my opinion carries a lot of weight these days. You know what I'm saying? Jay Gruden out. In is Darrell Bevell as OC. Now, Bevell was the quarterback's coach for Seattle or something along those lines. And his project while he was in Seattle was Russell Wilson. I don't really know what that means. Russell Wilson was probably just going to be Russell Wilson anyway, but maybe this Darrell Bevell guy had something to do with it. And we're going to find out because he's going to get a highly touted, and what a lot of these scouts and analysts and experts say is the second coming of Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and all that with Trevor Lawrence. Well, let me tell you something, Trevor Lawrence. You got your work cut out for you, buddy, because this team's bad as well. New defensive coordinators Joe Cullen, whose most recent stint was as the defensive line coach in Baltimore. If you're a defensive coach of any capacity in Baltimore, I'm just going to assume that you're great. I mean, it's just as simple as that. John Harbaugh was a freaking special teams coach in Baltimore, and look at how they've been doing ever since he's been hired there. It's interesting and great stuff. Now, Jacksonville, they got their work cut out for you. Like I've already said, 28th in offense, 31st in defense. Wow. They also finished dead last in rushing attempts last season. That, I think, definitely can and should change. Yes. They scored on 30.4% of their drives. 3rd lowest in the NFL. That's insane. And they did all this with James Robinson. Like, James Robinson was running the ball. Had a great rookie season. Running the ball very effectively. They just never chose to run it, right? That just baffles the mind, man. I don't understand it. They're one of only 2 teams to allow 2,000 rushing yards and 700 receiving yards to opposing running backs. You gotta shore that up. You can't let running backs run wild on you, NFL. It's a passing league. So if you're letting running backs do this on you, you're gonna lose freaking games. Let's be honest, right? They did make some splashes in free agency. Most notably, Marvin Jones Jr., coming from Detroit, has had 9 touchdowns in 3 of his last 4 years. I think that's a massive pickup for Trevor Lawrence. Get the ball in Marvin's hands, right? Shaquille Griffin, former Seattle, that's the one with both hands. That's the cornerback for Seattle, comes over, is going to be their number 1 guy to go with, what's the guy's name? I didn't write it down and I can't remember. Henderson. C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. See, I do know what I'm talking about, people. They bring in defensive tackle from the New Orleans Saints, baby. Malcolm Brown, good, solid nose tackle for them. And Carlos Hyde. James Robinson, and we'll get to the draft in a little bit with Travis Etienne, right? That's a deep backfield as well. Good for them. They did lose Keelan Cole Sr. and Chris Conley, but I think they make up for that with Marvin Jones. You still have DJ Chark on the team. Laviska Shenault. I mean, I think they have a good young receiving core there for Trevor Lawrence as well. They do need a tight end, though, and we'll get to that in a little bit. In the draft, they address it with... in the draft, they hit a home run. They hit a grand slam. Inside the park grand slam they hit. Because they did everything they needed to do. You got to score points in this league. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, right off the bat, explosions all over the Jacksonville football field, right? They go get Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia. Good cornerback. Lined up well against all of those SEC receivers that we're always talking about. And we're talking about them so much that Texas and Oklahoma are literally running into the SEC because they want to be part of what we got. Well, you got to earn it, buddies. Anyways, they also go offensive tackle Walker Little, who's either going to add depth or he's just going to come in and start for these guys. Either way. And Andre Cisco is an interesting pick. I love safeties. To me, it's the most interesting position on the field because we never talk about them enough. We never talk about safeties enough. Out of Syracuse, could make a splash for them. Maybe not this season, but it's definitely going to work out. 21 new coaches on this team. Urban Meyer bringing in his guys. And Josh Allen, not the Buffalo Bills quarterback, Josh Allen is back. Played 2 games last year, I believe, but in his rookie campaign, 10.5 sacks. This guy's back, and it's going to pay off big dividends for the defense. Shenault, like I said, and DJ Chark by themselves combined last season, 1,306 yards and 10 touchdowns. You can go that, add freaking Marvin Jones Jr. to the mix, and it should help a lot. That being said, this team's still not good. They're going to go 3-14. They're going to get better, but it's going to take time, man. It's going to take time. He's going to go through rookie struggles. They can get better, and then they'll still have a good draft pick, and then boom, they draft Miles Brennan to replace Trevor Lawrence. Just kidding again. Don't lose your mind over the nonsense over the Blatherskite that I'm talking. Ha! On to the next one, baby. Let's go! And now we move on to the best part about this division, and that's the top. Because these 2 teams have been battling it out. The Colts and the Titans have been battling it out back and forth for seasons now. 2 very good teams. Somehow they just always end up neck and neck. And those 2 games to watch, those division games, I don't know where they're at, but I'll probably try to cut it into the video and point out which 2 weeks these are. And one of them's got to be on primetime, right? I mean, I don't care if it's a Thursday night, a Sunday night, a Monday night. Put that thing on a Saturday night. Put that thing on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm watching that game. Colts-Titans rivalry this year, it means a lot because I think that those 2 games are going to decide the division right there. And to make my pick to fall into second place in the division is the Indianapolis. They went 11-5 last year, and they lost to the Bills in a close game, 24-27. Josh Allen and the Bills pulled it out. Stephon Diggs, all them boys, they pulled it out. They were 10th in offense, the Colts were 10th in offense 8th in defense last year. They were top 10 on both sides of the ball. That's how you win football games, people. They bring in new offensive coordinator, Marcus Brady. He was previously the quarterback's coach for the team, which is good, right? Familiar system. Ought to be able to, you didn't bring in like a new guy. You promote from within. Now that you have Carson Wentz and Phillip Rivers, man, thank you for your time, man. Thank you for that gunslinger mentality, you and your 16,000 kids. Exciting stuff, and we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. Breeze and Rivers to retire the same year. And Alex Smith, we're getting old, people. We're getting old. We're getting old. So we got to stay with the times, and we got to stay with the league, and we got to stay up to date with what's going on. Anyways, the Colts ran just 91 play-action pass attempts with Rivers under center last year. That's the second fewest in the league behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. The second fewest amount of play-action attempts. We got to pump those numbers up, right? Or however you pronounce his last name, I don't know. Anyways, you got to pump those numbers up, because they were running the ball successfully. Jonathan Taylor, what? Great rookie campaign. He's already being discussed as one of the better running backs in the league, and good for him. Good for him. I think a lot of people doubted him coming out. I think a lot of people doubted Jonathan Taylor's because he had those high production levels in college. People were like, oh, yeah. He said the same thing about Christian McCaffrey, didn't you? Now he's 99 overall in Madden. The disrespect on Alvin Kamara and Josh Allen on these Madden overall ratings is beyond me. And I'm getting way off track here, but I'm so ready for the season. We're almost in August. We're about to get preseason games. Give me the Hall of Fame game now. Put it on. I'm going to pop a blood vessel on my neck. All right. Back to the Indianapolis Colts. One of only 2 teams to blitz on fewer than 20% of their opponent's pass plays. They don't blitz a lot. These guys drop back in coverage. They rely on their pass rush, on their linemen, on their 4 guys. I think they run a 4-3. Anyways, they do. They rely on it. They don't blitz a whole lot, and they just get at it. They drop back in coverage. And I mean, they're the 8th ranked defense in the league, so good for them. They're 2nd in the league in turnover differential with +10. Now, that's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Phillip Rivers threw 11 interceptions last year. Carson Wentz threw 15 interceptions, tied for leading the league, and he only played in 12 games last year. I want to throw this out there. There was a time when Carson Wentz was like an MVP candidate. Now, that was years ago, so I'm not saying that this is the same guy. But which Carson Wentz are we going to get? Which Carson Wentz? This team operated with an old Phillip Rivers, and they still had the 10th ranked offense in the league, right? Minimize the turnovers. Carson Wentz had 7 interceptions in each of his previous 3 seasons before last season. So this guy he's not Trubisky, right? No offense, Mitchell. No offense. Don't come at me, bro. They did make the 2 splashes in free agency are Carson Wentz, which is huge, by the way. Let's see if this guy can bring it back. And Eric Fisher, offensive tackle, recovering from, I believe it was a torn ACL in the playoffs. If he can get things right, this was already a great offensive line. You got Quentin Nelson. Put the guy in the Hall of Fame now. You know what I'm saying? It's so good. Now, they did lose. They had some older guys leave the team. But Jacoby Brissett, Justin Houston, Phillip Rivers all gone. Anthony Walker, linebacker, and safety Malik Hooker went to Dallas. Good luck, Malik. Anyways, in the draft, they didn't have a ton of needs. This is a ready to play and a ready to win team. This team's going to the playoffs, But they did. They added depth to that defensive line, and I think that's really key when that's what you rely on. Kwity Paye out of Michigan, and here we go with the names again, big boy. Dayo Adeyingbo out of Vanderbilt, and here's a little kicker deep in that draft, Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger, a Texas quarterback, who was a winner at Texas. Showed some bright spots. Is he an NFL quarterback? I don't know. Might be a serviceable backup, though, in case Carson Wentz gets hurt. And Sean Davis out of Florida. This is the guy in the video right here where I tell you to go to YouTube and go pull up Sean Davis. SHAWN Davis. First of all, I'm going to tag you in this, Mr. Happy Hour. You got to get to this part in the video. But Mr. Happy Hour himself, Campanella Kent, go look at this guy. He's got the dreadlocks. Anybody with dreadlocks in the league is not a trash player. This guy hits. He's very productive with his interceptions. I believe he had like 6 in a season or something like that. Very, very good. Sometimes can get a little over anxious, but watch for this guy. They're going to play him. He's going to be on special teams. He's going to make plays. You will see this guy on SportsCenter. I guarantee it. I've already talked about Carson Wentz. I think that this number 8 defense is going to be even better with the depth that they've added. It's going to be very good to watch and witness. I do believe this team finishes 12-5. One more game this year, one more win this year for the Indianapolis Colts. And they do finish second in the division. So, who does that leave us with? On to the next one. And last, but certainly not least, the Tennessee Titans.
Spit it out, spit it out, spit it out,
What
spit
you
it
got,
out.
Shut your mouth. Yeah, baby. My God. Tanya, eat your heart out, Tanya Hardy.
The reigning, defending division champs, I believe. I hope I'm right on that. That'd be a bad one to get wrong, to be honest with you. But anyways, 11-5 record. Last year, losing to Lamar Jackson, who ran for like a gajillion rushing yards in that game. 13-20 in that wild card round, which good for Lamar. Good for Lamar finally getting that playoff win, getting that monkey off his back like Steve Young, right? But they pulled the monkey off his back when he won that Super Bowl. That's what we need you to do, Lamar. We need you to take that next step, big dog. Big dog. So, the Tennessee Titans, number 2 in total offense in the league. Ryan Tannehill, the most underrated player in the National Football League. Now, here's where they have to get better. This is like a make or break for them. 28th ranked defense in the NFL. You know, they're going to run Derrick Henry's legs right off of that man. There's no doubt about that. They've got to play better defense. It's cut and dry, people. It's cut and dry. Opponents converted a league high 51.9% of third down attempts. More than half the time, people converted third downs against the Titans. They have to get better. Mike Vrabel has given up his defensive coordinator duties to focus more on the head coaching job, promoting their outside linebackers coach to that position. So it's good to hire from within. They were 30th in the league in sacks, and they were first in the league in turnover differential. That's a testament to Ryan Tannehill not turning the ball over and being smart with it. The guy picks his shots. He's got an arm. They just don't air it out, right? Arthur Smith out as offensive coordinator, heading over to Atlanta. Rise up! Heading over to Atlanta. Good luck, Arthur Smith. Now, you know what? No good luck to you. I don't care about Atlanta. I hope you guys lose every freaking game. I don't want to see any of you. All right? Good luck. Good riddance. Good riddance, Arthur. Todd Downing promoted from tight end coach to offensive coordinator, so that should be interesting, right? They were third in the league. This team, the Titans, shouldn't be shocking at all. Third in the league with 174 play-action pass attempts. And second in play-action passing yards with 1,541 for the year. That's not a shock at all because these boys are going to run it down your throats with Derrick Henry, and you're not going to be able to stop them. And then when you think you're going to do it again, play action, pull that ball back, looking downfield. Who's open now? Julio freaking Jones. Julio Jones! I'm glad he's out of the NFC South, though. What a wide receiver core they have. Look at that duo. A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. Wow. Can Julio stay healthy, though? Because we've seen these little knick-knack injuries kind of come up and, up and down over the last couple years. Is Julio the same guy he was 6 or 7 years ago? No. But is Julio still a dog? Yes. Okay? So that's not good for the rest of the AFC South. They better step their cornerback game up, Anyways, so like I said, they added Julio Jones. They bring in outside linebacker Bud Dupree from Pittsburgh. First round pick. He is coming off an ACL injury. But he was very effective for the Steelers. I think they just let him go for the injury's sake. And if he can get back to form, that's huge. I think he's better a fit for them than Jadeveon Clowney, who's just such an underachiever. But I mean, he's not a bust. He's not a bust at all. He's not a bust. He's effective, right? And they bring in cornerback Janoris Jenkins, who for the Saints, pretty darn good, I think. I liked him. I like Janoris. There's the dreadlocks again coming out. Very good cornerback. Should help them. And Danico Autry from Indianapolis, coming over from the rivals, baby. Let's go. 7.5 sacks in 2020. Should fit right in. They need that help on the D-line right off the bat. Now, they did have some losses here. Malcolm Butler gone to Arizona. But all them veterans are just running off to Arizona. It'll be interesting to watch them. I might have them predicted wrong. Jadavian Clowney off to Cleveland. Adoree Jackson, Jonnu Smith, and Corey Davis all gone. But Julio, Corey Davis, all right. And then in the draft, great pick with the first pick. I wanted the Saints to get this man. The pick just wasn't high enough. I don't remember where he got drafted. Caleb Farley out of Virginia. Had one, maybe 2 back surgeries, but probably the best, arguably, it's out of him and Horn for Carolina. It's out of them over who is that best cornerback in the draft. And I would have taken Farley. I would have taken Farley over Horn personally. 25 pass deflections in 24 games for Caleb Farley. That's insane. Physical, big, strong cornerback. Hopefully dangerous player. Jeffrey Simmons coming back. Jeffrey Simmons is quietly becoming a force in the NFL, and they took a risk on him with the injuries coming out of college, so that'll be interesting. They also took offensive tackle Dylan Reduns out of North Dakota State and another cornerback, Elijah Molden, out of Washington. One of the best nickelbacks coming out of that draft. So, and they got him later. It's perfect. Taylor Lewin is back for that offense. That's going to be, dude, they were running the ball like this. Derrick Henry ran for over 1,000 yards, 2,000 yards last year with Taylor Lewin not even there. Imagine what he's going to do with Taylor Lewin there. That dude is a dog. Don't get in his face. Do not get in his face. Julio Jones. They got new breath on the defense. A lot of new people. I've already talked about Jeffrey Simmons. This team is coming back. I think this team goes 12-5 as well. Same record as the Indianapolis Colts, but they probably win those division games. They win the tiebreaker, and they secure the 4th seed in the playoffs. I didn't say in the last video, in the last cut, but the Colts are going to be the 7th seed, I believe I had them at, and the Titans are going to be the 4th seed, and that will conclude the AFC South. And that's going to wrap up today's video, people. That's all we got for the AFC South. I'll be moving on to the last division, the AFC West. And we'll see how that breaks down. I think everybody knows the Chiefs are going to win that, but let's see how the rest of it plays out. It'll be an interesting division. A lot of turnover on their team. A lot of uncertainty behind the Kansas City Chiefs. Chargers are coming up. So tune in for that in a few days. I'm going to try to get that one out quicker. Been on a little hiatus. Been very busy. But I also want you guys to know that this right here, August 11th, 8 Central, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on MTV, The Challenge, coming back for season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies, or something like that. Put the word in there. We'll see if CT can repeat as champ. We'll see if we got a lot of newbies in this. Maybe I'll break down a weekly show for that. I don't know how many people watch that. I might be the only guy in North America watching The Challenge. But guess what? I'll be watching The Challenge for Johnny Bananas. We need him to come back. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Follow Boot Crew Media. Follow me. If somehow you see this and you're not following me, go hit that blue button on Instagram. Go hit that blue button on Twitter, at the Mike Bergeron. Or if you're kind of, why is he saying it like that? At the Mike Bergeron. I don't care how you say my last name. It doesn't offend me. Find me on Facebook, Mike11 Bergeron. I'm posting all of this on all of the social media airwaves, right? I want you guys to tune in. It's going to be an explosive 2021 season. Basketball's wrapped up. You got baseball. We're coming into August in baseball. You know, it's good. Little playoff race there. Maybe I'll talk about baseball. I got some massive trades going down with the Yankees and the Dodgers and all of these guys, and the Braves are just sitting there. Keep tuning in. Follow all these guys. Follow every one of these podcasts on Boot Crew Media, the Sportsman's Paradise, the baseball one. I can't remember the name of it. Oh my gosh, they're going to kill me. Follow them all. Listen in. We're bringing it to you. And the New Orleans, the greater New Orleans, the southeastern United States area, we want to be your one stop. Keep tuning in. Hit the music.